Hi, and welcome to this on-demand training on the 4 A's of professionalism. This on-demand learning is brought to you by the Health Center Association of Nebraska, also known as HCAN. For any questions or you want to learn more about HCAN, please click on the link below. Let's get started. So in today's discussion, we're really going to learn a little bit more about professionalism in the workforce. It will help you project a polished image, cultivate a positive mindset, take ownership of actions at work, and also navigate change in the workplace. And we're going to use the 4 A's to achieve these goals. And the 4 A's are attendance, appearance, attitude, and accountability. So let's look at attendance. Remember, whatever role you play within your community health center, your presence in the health center is really important. The goal is to come to work every day and be dependable. That means being trustworthy and consistent when you're there so colleagues can depend on you. Coming to work shows a commitment to your job and helps your reputation as a team member. Now remember, this doesn't mean that you can't take vacation or be sick. So here are some tips to be successful. Remember, being on time is really important. Try and be at least 15 minutes early or whenever you were told to be at work. And things happen and you may get sick, you have to take time off. But remember, make sure you let your supervisor know, and if you can, not at the last minute. It's also important to really remember that number one, look at your employee handbook or policies and procedures, or two, ask your supervisor if you have any questions. The next one is appearance. Remember, how you look, how you present yourself can really say a lot about how someone perceives you. Remember, you will never get a second chance at first impression. Having a good appearance really sends a message to the patients and the communities that you serve. It can also demonstrate how much you respect yourself and your work. If you're watching and maybe you're new to the health center or your role, make sure, to ask one question or a lot of questions. One question that may be helpful is to ask, can you talk about the health center's culture and any policies I should be aware of, such as dress code? A couple of tips for success. Remember that you represent your health center. You may be the first person that a patient may see when they walk through the door, and you are the face of the community health center. Talk with your supervisor and review the employee handbook if there is a dress code. And remember, regardless of what you're wearing, make sure that your clothing or uniform is clean and not wrinkled. Let's make a great impression on the patients that we serve. The next one is attitude. Remember that having a right attitude at work can be the difference to whether you have a good day or a bad day. After all, maintaining a positive attitude can help increase productivity, well-being, and effective collaboration. Having a positive attitude means starting your day off with a positive attitude and smile. A simple smile can go a long way and can really improve mood and positively impact people around you. And remember, you work as a team. So maybe the phones are ringing or a patient is needing you, or you need to room a patient, or maybe you have to help out your provider with a procedure. Make sure you take the initiative and lend a hand because you may be the one that needs help later on in the day. Some other tips to consider. Sometimes the day may not go so well, or maybe you're just having a bad day at work. Try and find solutions to challenges instead of dwelling on obstacles. Seek solutions and be proactive in addressing these challenges. You could even talk to your supervisor or colleagues about any challenges and see maybe they have some ideas to help. And remember to thank your colleagues if they helped you with tasks that maybe you couldn't get to. A small thank you honestly really goes a long way. And don't forget, you're part of a team. If you need help, just ask. The next one is accountability. So when we think about being accountable at work, not only does it mean accepting responsibilities for your actions, but it also means taking ownership of your work duties and demonstrating initiative by willingly accepting additional tasks when necessary. Being accountable at work means having clear expectations with job duties. If you are unclear as to your task, Check your job description or ask your supervisor. Remember, we're all imperfect and we will make mistakes. So if you make a mistake, own up to it, ask how you can fix it, and maybe if you need some additional extra training, you can ask for that. Remember, if you don't understand a task or unable to complete something, ask for help. A few tips to be successful at work. Number one, have an accountability buddy. What this means is to partner with someone you trust at work, share your goals of what you want to accomplish. For example, maybe you want to make sure that your in basket of messages are taken care of each day. Or if you're rooming patients, that all your exam rooms are stocked and ready to go for the next day. So if you have these, maybe some examples, but maybe you can have your accountability buddy help you to set up that deadline, and then they can check in with you to make sure you're meeting those goals. Number two, remember that your work matters in a community health center. Regardless of whether you answer the phone, you're taking care of patients, or work in administration, no matter what, you matter in a community health center. If you weren't there, there would be a gap in the workflow. And finally, learn from your supervisors or role models. Look up to colleagues who maybe exhibit strong self-discipline and accountability. Focus on being the best version of yourself at work. So now that you learned about the 4 A's of professionalism, just a few final thoughts. Feel free to share the 4 A's with your colleagues, use them in everyday life, and be the best version you can be as you work in a community health center. Thanks so much for watching this short on-demand training video. If you have any questions, please check with the Health Center Association of Nebraska.